That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
We're the first stop, so we can make
Utah
this decision.
family.
Utah family.
That's right.
That's beautiful.
Utah, something's gonna be happening in
You got
This is my original, well, I actually had your original.
We're happening here.
Marked it all up and gave it to somebody. And then this is the newer edition.
Thank you.
I'm going to buy a few of these
Oh, this is the.
while we're here tonight, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that was
Have a
worth the
safe
story.
trip.
The fact that he came all this way and we only paid 60
Yes, believe in
bucks,
your
you know,
power.
like,
You have
it's
the
like,
power
he
to-
came all that
to,
way. I mean, I want to
I
give
know
him
I
more
did.
money.
Affirm.
What?
You have
Which
your
is
authority to
wonderful
affirm.
that we didn't. When I first heard tickets for going South Sea, I was like, I got to get these now because I pulled over. I was on the road to
Yeah, I
my
know. Those are the
place
bad
in
ones.
Callio. I pulled over in Wendover and was like, I got to buy these right now because it's
You're
going to be
welcome.
sold out.
Oh, wait, did you? Oh, yeah, you got it.
Do you want a hug?
Soon.
I
I'll
love
come
you.
out to your ranch. I love you
Oh,
too.
I love you. You're so wonderful. You have so much to teach me.
Well,
you
I
know?
feel that
You want
way
to sit
about you guys.
closer together? You guys
you.
find there? It's however you guys
Let us
want.
know.
Well, she was sitting here, so I don't want to.
I
No,
don't
you're
mind, Gabby.
good.
You
He
get
asked me to
closer.
come over here. We were wherever you want, Gabriella. That one's fine.
All right.
I loved reading the first edition. I took it camping with me. I took it out into nature, into the woods,
Much better.
What is
and I just absorbed it all.
on YouTube? What is that's different than this?
Yes, it is.
YouTube? When I'm doing my lives?
Yeah, the books that you have like on the.
Oh no, it's the same one. It's just that that's the hardcover. This is the soft cover. It's the same one.
It was going to take 7 weeks.
Really
You need to
thick.
talk to Amazon. 7 weeks is too long to wait for the book.
Am I right?
What?
Yeah.
You ordered a book and they're gonna take 7 weeks?
No, I ordered these ones because the wait on the hardcover was like 6 to 7 weeks.
Oh, I see what you mean. That's not. That shouldn't be good. I mean, that shouldn't be going. They should allow it. He's the guy to talk to about that.
I'd like to. I wanted you to sign the hard copy, but it's okay.
Take a nap.
Remind me of your name.
Oh, it's okay. Shelley. Shelley.
To Shelley.
Sister Shelley.
Shelley.
EY. Thank you. And there it is. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I'll be buying some copies tonight too.
Okay.
Cool.
You guys are so wonderful and amazing.
That's how we feel about you. But I'm noticing that in each soul, like just like out in the world, like we see the light in the others, you know, that is in ourselves. Yeah. We recognize this is how we're awakening.
And we
who
recognized
we are.
each other. Like there was a moment in,
Yeah.
in the other room where
You'll be in front of it.
it was like hilarious. For me, it was funny how like all of a sudden I figured I know.
Should I put the
everybody.
date on it? Yeah, I should. That way,
Yeah,
you
that'd
know.
be great.
Huh?
He's already
sounds
been
good.
like in 6 car accidents and look at look.
I mean, I forget what year we're in. 2023. See, I've already jumped timeline. Seriously, I'm starting to forget what day it is, and I'm starting to lose track of the time and the year and the day, which means I'm quantum jumping.
Which is great.
Yeah, I'm no
That's
longer
good
in
news.
this, third dimensional time construct.
What? Say that again?
I don't know what day it is anymore.
I'm noticing
and I
that
know sometimes
also.
I don't even know what time it is, and I have to like remind myself based on whether the sun's still up or not.
I can't keep track of the seasons.
But yeah, I don't know what day it is
And I'm even in Utah.
Anymore.
anymore.
Yeah, I
Which
have to
means
ask
I'm
my
not
phone.
in this reality half the time.
That's great. I love that.
So it's like 1 foot in and many feet out, right?
Wow.
All right, so
All right.
Did you do?
So you're interviewing me? Yeah,
Yes.
my question. Do you want to start with my awakening time or
yes,
questions?
please.
Okay.
Tell me about your awakening.
Well, I would say, I was born in 63.
Wait, hold on. Are we recording?
I don't know whose phone is this. Whose phone is this? Okay.
Are we recording? Okay.
Okay. So I was born in 63. And as a child, I also didn't feel like I fit in. Things on the playground at school didn't make sense, like why there'd be bullying and things like that. So I was never really strong to stand up for myself and have courage and things. I'm just starting to learn that now. Like it's important to stand for who I really am and to realize I'm not the personality that I'd crafted. But I would say in about 86, 87, when Shirley MacLaine's movie came out on TV called, what was it called? We were just talking about it. Shirley MacLaine. Oh, Something by the Light, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it was so good. Not Saved by the Light, that was Daniel Brinkley, but yeah. Anyway, I saw hers and that awoken me to the divinity that lies within. And then the right people always come into my life. So my awakening has been in layers, like the layers of an onion to get to the center, sweet center. So,
Okay.
yeah, so like
Normally that's
maybe a
how it works,
book.
yeah.
Yeah, so like there'd be a book, Celestine Prophecy. Someone told me to read that, so I read that. And then I read Gary Zukav, and so all these different authors. And then, and then I'd start having experiences like seeing beyond, and having loved ones that have crossed over come, and with messages. So that's just been, But then the real awakening, like as to what we really have been living with here on the planet, that's been in the last few
That's
years.
another type of awakening, I feel.
Yeah,
Well,
that
there's
one's
different
been
stages of
painful.
awakening.
Yeah. Do you want to describe what those stages
Well,
are?
yeah. Well, the
I'd love
first
that.
stage is what I want to tell fundamentalist Christians who are understanding that there is a deep state, that what's going on in Washington is corruption, and they call them liberals, right? So that's the first stage, is understanding that yes, the government is corrupt, but you're still kind of in a religious pocket. The second stage beyond that is understanding that there is this universal oneness that binds and connects every living thing. And when you start understanding that, then you start realizing, well, maybe I shouldn't just be, part of a group or pocket, and maybe I should understand that, God is within, and that God is also within everything else. Right. And as a result of that, I could actually begin to tolerate and begin to grow as an individual. And then that's what we call the stage of becoming first stage spiritual, when you understand that everything's interconnected, right? And that we're all one. And then the third stage above that is just when you start now implementing spiritual practices. Well, now that I am spiritually awakened, now that I snapped out of my programming, right? That's when you come to also understand that, everything is like a matrix. So then now you start investigating and research. You start seeing the scientific validation behind things, and then you start making sense of things. And then that's when, I guess, you just continue, you could say, continuing to expand your awareness. And that's what awakening is. We're just growing consciously. Our consciousness is once again moving out of this box, into what's really in existence, beyond this.
The real reality.
Yeah, the real reality, beyond this illusion, which is really what it is, illusion. But so there's different stages of awakening, and so that's why everybody's on different levels of awakening, to each his own, which is good, because not everyone is on the same wavelength when you think about it,
Oh, yes.
Some souls are older than others. And so those are the souls that are not easily programmable. Those are the rebels, right? Those are the nonconformists, the ones that always questioned everything, even in school. The ones that challenge their professors. Those are the older souls. And then, of course, there's the spectrum and everything in between. And then you have the young souls, which some would call them NPCs, but they're really not. Although they're very similar, because the NPCs are part of the program to help keep that collective mind going in a certain way, And then, of course, the younger souls, all they want to do is just fit in, because they're, evolving out of the stage of being part of the animal kingdom, So all they want to, and then they're also, for the first time, they're recognizing that they're individuals, that they're not just part of a herd. But at the same time, they still have the herd mentality, because in the animal kingdom, it's a herd mentality. So that's why the younger souls are more easily programmable than the older souls. I don't know if that makes any sense. Hopefully
it does.
It does? Okay, good. Did it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
awesome.
I just got stuck thinking about the NPCs, because I feel like a lot of that is, I didn't know until I heard you talk about them. They just get in my way, or have gotten in my way, like in forms of people just distracting me or derailing me from what. And then, of course, once I grow out of that relationship or whatever, then if everything becomes clear again. But I never knew. I knew there was something weird about that, but I didn't know what it was until I heard you talk about NPCs. I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ismael, you're saying that young souls were in the animal kingdom and they're moving through?
Yes, yeah. There's two types of souls that when Prime Creator Source, a part of him started from the top down. Those are the descending souls, the whole light beings that are just fracturizing, right? The monad, the oversoul, the avatars, and then all the individuated souls. And then you also have the souls that started off as I guess from the bottom, not as whole, but as pieces that are just trying to relearn and remember, going through different stages like a school. Every stage has its own lessons, and then you master them and you move up to the next stage. So first you're the consciousness of a mineral. You're the, they say fire, water, air, it's all living. It's got spirit. You're the consciousness of a mineral. From a mineral, you graduate into the consciousness of a plant or perhaps a tree. You're still two-dimensional. So you start off in the one dimensions, actually. If you want to really go back, you start off as the core of the earth with, or what they call the dimension of gas. Yeah, pretty much gas, elements. That's the one dimension. And then you move up to the second dimension, which is the plant kingdom. And then you move up to the third dimension, which is the animal kingdom. Now, the third dimension divides into two categories. You have the herd mentality, which is the animal kingdom, and then you have the higher mammalian human kingdom, which is when the soul now begins to see itself as an individual. And then that's when free will comes in. That's when you're able, through your own choice making, that's how you're able to guide the trajectory of whether you're going to continue ascending into your godhood or regressing at that point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's fabulous. Because being an individual, I don't have to feel separate.
You don't have to
I
feel
can still
separate.
feel connected to.
And
I am.
And the beauty of it all is that even though we become individuals, we're still at a fundamental level of reality, we're still connected via spirit. And that's when we begin to see each other as brothers and sisters. And that's when the principles of cooperation come into play. And that's how we evolve. That's how universes evolve. That's how, everything goes in a state of progression. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's like evolving. Yeah.
And the unity.
And the
that
unity
you're talking
of it.
about, the cooperation.
Yes.
Yeah.
The many
Well,
and the one and the many.
The one. Yep. Well, and when you talked about, when I read your book last year, over a year ago, I took it camping with me, out into nature, and was reading it, and I loved that you also had researched the Urantia papers, because I was given the Urantia book in the late 90s, paper thin, or the super thin pages. Yeah, it was a lot to read, and a lot went,
Yeah, I had to read it a few times.
I'm sure.
It's not easy.
Even though you break down everything really well, I still have to re-listen to you and reread and, your books, because it's full of so much. And I bought it because you said it activates. It's an activating,
That's what I was
our
told
awakening.
when I was writing it.
That's lovely. So thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming here. I've
You're
been,
welcome.
calling this forth that you would come to Utah, because we really deserve you here.
Why don't you give her something a little more, Ismael?
Oh, I have a
Sweet.
gift for you.
I love
I
that.
have a gift for you. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I'll have you sign this too when we're done. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I can do that. Actually, I
So
can
much.
sign it now if you want.
Yeah, you can just sign the glass. You don't have to take it out or anything.
We'll just do it.
It'll be great. I'd never have
There
to
you
wash it. There you go.
Did you sign your book already as well?
He did.
Okay.
So thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
My
just
pleasure.
for being who you are and opening the space to inspire all of us to be all that we are.
Well, I'm just here as a catalyst. That's it.
Want some water?
I love that. Love that. You're
Oh,
so.
let me take this.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Who wants to be next?
I just have a question. You've always talked about your research, and I don't know how you access all those things that gave you those answers long ago. What are you looking up, and how
Well-
are you getting there?
Well, the thing about me is I've always kind of felt like I knew things that others never knew, or that I couldn't find on written records.
Yeah.
I was always, it's almost like thought forms have always been coming into me as a kid. I just never knew what that was, but I thought I was like, is that normal? And then as I started, again, incorporating meditation when I got serious about things after reading the autobiography of Yogananda,
Yeah.
the yogi, I started doing Kriya Kundalini. And then that's when I started getting transmissions, just all this information. And I'm thinking to myself, does anybody else know this? And I would research it, look it up, go to the local library, go to bookstores, and no, there's nothing out there on this. And that's when I said to myself, okay. So I started meditating a lot more to see if I could, access more. And little by little, I realized that I read a book, I think it was from Edgar Cayce, and he was talking about the Akashic records. And also, who else talks about that? Dolores Cannon and Madame Blavatsky, esoteric, theosophy. And so I started reading these metaphysical books, and then that's when I said to myself, am I accessing the Akashic records? And then ever since then, I felt like my spirit guides, my team, they've always kind of led me and guided me into certain documents, certain manuscripts that I had to read. And then that's when I just said, all right, so there is some sort of substance to this.
Do you think those things are still available, or are they shut off?
Some of the manuscripts are no longer available,
Yeah.
and even the one I had, I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it, but it disappeared. The one that I had was known as the Genehan scripts, which talked about the 12 major or the 12 living universes. And that was a document that was actually given to us by Michael the Archangel.
Wow.
Talking about the 12.
Given to whom?
Well, it was given to the Brotherhood of Light. There was only to, I guess, the Melchizedek order. And there was only one record left. And I was told that I was the one that was destined to have that record, that I would one day bring the knowledge of the 12 major universes back to this earth. But also, the Urantia book.
Yeah, I have that book.
The Urantia book is also very, well, it's only 49% accurate, by the way.
Yes.
Not the history of Urantia, because they failed to incorporate the interstellar wars and all that, or the history of Jesus. But as far as the cosmology aspect of it, that is accurate.
So you think the section on Jesus is not accurate?
Oh no, Jesus had children. And there was 3 Jesuses. There was 3 bloodlines, competing bloodlines.
I don't know that.
Can you expand on that?
Oh, sure, okay.
Hear more about that.
All right, so supposedly you had the original royal race that were known as the Anuhasi. They were the original Elohai Elohim. They come from Lyra, and they were also interbreded with Syrian DNA. I'm sorry. Let me do this so that way Gavin can hear me. And so that was what many would call the bloodline of Michael, the bloodline of the guardian races. So that bloodline came to the earth, and there was many attempts to borrow DNA from that bloodline in order to use it towards their their nefarious activities, the dark side that is, because they knew that there was power in that DNA. That DNA was a composition of non-physical beings that came from harmonic universe 4 with liquid light bodies, liquid matter, and then of course the crystalline Elohim original Lyrans, and to create a race that was so powerful that was able to operate both in the physical and the non-physical. So that was why Zeus had the power of the lightning, what they call the lightning bolt. Now they call it the what is it called? They call it, I forget the name of it. The rods, the rods of God.
Rods of God.
The rods of God. Well, that was because he was more of about like the natural technology, the controlling of the elements by building an interface through his consciousness with the earth and of course the cosmos. But did you guys know that Zeus was also in charge of other worlds? Not just the earth. But anyways, the whole point is, so they tried to extract genetics from this lineage to also use it for the reptilians and for another race. So they have 3 different Jesuses. Unfortunately, the other 2 weren't as pure as the first one. It was an attempt to borrow some of those genetics to allow this lineage to also be able to have these metaphysical powers, these natural, organic metaphysical powers.
So they're not around, those 2?
No, not anymore. But
So it still distills down to 1.
Yeah, but the original one had children.
Right.
In order to continue, that lineage. And the Urantia papers fail to recognize that. They don't mention that.
Okay, so who's going to want to go next?
Okay.
Guess I'll go next.
All right.
Say that again? I think all of us are.
Yes.
Every single person here is part of the Melchizedek Brotherhood or Sisterhood.
Yes.
Both.
In fact, I have a